Welcome back to Mastering Maize and Blue. Today we are here to talk about our first generation students and the programs offered on our UM-Dearborn campus for students. My name is Bridgit Bradakis. I'm a bioengineering, mechanical engineering dual major. I'm involved with the first gen leadership team, the first gen student org, glee club, and swing dance. And well, my favorite superhero is not To Kill a Mockingbird. My favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird. And I'm joined today by Brandon Queen and Reem Omer. Would both of you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. First, Bridget, I'd like to compliment you on your taste in superheroes. I'm not sure if that's MCU or DC, but To Kill a Mockingbird is a new superhero to me. Anyways, my name is Brandon Queen, first gen student committee leader, soon to be first gen student org leader, wink, wink. And I'll save the rest of my introduction for later. I'll hand it off to Reem.
Hi, I'm Reem. I'm the event coordinator for the first gen leadership team.
All right. And both of you, what is your major and what year are you?
So I am a senior here at U of M-Dearborn, which is absolutely insane to me. I feel like I haven't been here that long, but okay, here we are. I'm in the College of Business, and I'm majoring in Information Systems Management and Finance.
I'm going into my third year, which makes me a junior, but also a senior with credits. I'm majoring in bio and mechanical dual and major in, it's a dual major, bio and mechanical engineering.
All right. And do you have a fun fact about you?
Yeah, so when I'm not super busy with first gen initiatives, which I'm usually pretty busy with them, I'm also a FIRST robotics mentor and drive coach. So I'm not sure who all is listening and familiar with FIRST robotics, but if you are, I'm sure you're just internally cheering right now. Along with that, I've also had the opportunity to be the co-founder, event coordinator, and volunteer coordinator for an annual Women in STEM event. Am I a STEM major? No. Am I a female? No. But it's a great event nonetheless, and I love supporting that cause.
Well, I am the oldest of 5 girls. We're all girls in my family. I love to run and to read a lot of books. I read To Kill a Mockingbird probably 8 times when back in high school. It's a great book. Definitely recommended.
Sorry, I thought it was a superhero. But anyways, we can continue. Reem, you have a lot of sisters. The only sister I have is my dog, if you consider her a sister, but it's okay.
All right. And so what makes a student first gen?
So the technical definition of a first-gen student is any student who whose parents or guardian have not had the opportunity to complete a 4-year degree. But obviously that has a lot more implications that we're going to delve into a little bit during this podcast. So I'm excited to kind of look deeper than just the technical definition.
All right. And so who's on the first gen leadership team and what does it do?
Well, everyone might be very surprised to learn that we, the three of us on this podcast, are in fact the first gen leadership team. I'm as we mentioned previously, the first gen student committee leader. Reem is our event coordinator and Bridget is our marketing coordinator. And I'd like to think that we do an absolutely excellent job of leading all first gen initiatives on campus. In fact, our current committee is soon going to be hopefully an official sponsored student org. So we're really looking to grow and help first gen students across campus in any way possible to provide value to their 4 years or however many years they're here.
And why did you want to help with first gen programming?
So originally, I had no idea that this org existed. And one of my friends who was first gen just kind of briefly mentioned in passing that they were going to a first gen meeting. I said, wait, hold on. I'm first gen. Why have I never heard of these? Long story short, she brought me to one meeting, and one meeting became 5 meetings, and 5 meetings became me applying to be first gen student committee leader, because I think it's great to give back to first gen students, because obviously I'm a first gen student, and college is tough, right? So it's important to, when you kind of figure things out, so you think to give back to those who might be struggling or could use some help.
I, on the other hand, knew about first gen since I was in high school. So coming into college, I went looking for it. And then I met Salo, which like he taught us more about first gen and the importance of being first gen, and how, like you said, giving back is a great like opportunity to help other students and everything. So yeah, I already knew about it from before, so it was a really great opportunity.
I personally didn't even know I was first gen until I got those newsletters. So I definitely understand the like wanting to make sure people understand and get those resources because I was struggling and I didn't even know I could use those resources that I kept getting emails about until I realized that I was in fact first gen.
See, and now you're the one responsible for sending out those newsletters. So look how things have come full circle.
Exactly. All right. So what's the main goal of the first gen leadership team for the upcoming semester?
Yeah, I can speak to this one a little bit. So obviously, this semester looks quite a bit different than previous semesters, and we're facing a lot of unknowns with this partially hybrid, partially remote semester that's coming up. So really, our goal, though, our overarching goal has not changed. We still want to um, inform, connect, and celebrate first-gen students, but now we have to do it a little bit differently. We have to figure out ways to reach students who already might not know a whole lot about campus and are now forced to do it remotely, which just makes college that much more difficult. So we have to really push our social media and reach people at home instead of walking up to them on campus. But the goal is still the same, to provide that same value to students.
And what types of events have been put on in the past?
So this would be our second semester with like this whole organization, and so far we've only had panels, social events, and educational events. We did plan a dinner and other like social events for like the end of the semester, but with COVID and everything going on, we had to limit that to being virtual. And each event that we had served an important purpose. So our panel was alumni, other upperclassmen, even professors came in. They all shared their past experiences about being first gen. Our educational event taught other students who weren't first gen about first gen, and even like you guys said, you guys didn't really know you guys were first gen, so it taught first gen that they were first gen, and we were able to let out more resources to other people, other students, and utilize those. So we had pretty successful events, and hopefully in the upcoming semester we have more important and like more events to host, but obviously all being virtual with everything going on.
And what are some of the common struggles that first gen students have as incoming students?
Yeah, so I've heard this story a million times. I mean, if I had $1 for every time I heard this story at U of M-Dearborn, I probably would no longer need a college degree, because I would have all the money I could need to retire. But something I hear a lot is students come in and it's kind of just commuter campus. They go to class and then they go home and they do nothing else, and they have no idea what resources are available to them on campus. They don't really know how to connect with other students outside of the classroom. They feel alone, and really I think the biggest issue is just knowing all of the resources that are available, because there are just a ton of resources available to students if they know where to find them. So the struggle really is trying to come into college that you're not familiar with at all. Your parents aren't familiar with it, so they can't really guide you and tell you, hey, there's stuff out there for you. And you kind of have to just find your own path, which is not always easy.
Yeah, and I would add confidence too in like asking for help. Most first gen students feel like they they aren't well or good enough to go around and ask people for help, just because they kind of were able to do everything themselves and they made it to college. So having that confidence to going about like asking somebody like, like I need this resource, where can I find it? It's a really big struggle for most students. I, for one, struggled with it, so I kind of understand.
All right. And why is a focus on first gen important? What changes are happening for the upcoming semester to continue that focus?
Yeah, so I think this is kind of really a combination of things that we alluded to earlier. Obviously, it's important to focus on first-gen students because, again, they don't have that immediate support system to go home to that will tell them, hey, why don't you just chill on campus for a little while and maybe find an org to get involved with, right? They don't have that in their ear. So we kind of we kind of put it in their ear for them. And we are a place on campus that first-gen students can come to, and we say, hey, these are all the opportunities that you have, and we have different events to show them that, and they can get involved in different leadership positions, which is sometimes hard to come by if you are not looking for them, right? So that's really important, and obviously a lot of things are changing for the upcoming remote semester. Duh. Things won't be as in person, so we'll have a lot of virtual events and hopefully a lot of opportunities for people to connect at at times that are convenient for them from the comfort of their own home, so that way we don't have to necessarily find people as they're running to or running from campus for a class. We can kind of find them on their own time and in a place where they're a little bit more comfortable. So those are things we hope to achieve.
Personally, I'm hoping that these changes also help getting more people involved, because it's a lot easier to get connected to something if it's just through your computer instead of having to worry about where you're going, if you're going to know anyone there. With this, you can decide what you look like, what you appear like. If you're in space on a Zoom meeting, you can turn your camera off. You cannot talk a single word during the entire thing, but you'll still be part of it and listening in and hearing experiences, or being able to see like, oh, my friend is first gen. So I
For
definitely think that this will help.
for sure, it definitely adds an extra layer of comfortability that will hopefully make things a little bit easier to connect people, because of course we always aim to be a place where people can be comfortable. So that's exciting.
And what does it mean to be a first gen student to you?
So to me, being a first gen student obviously comes with a lot of challenges, as we've been discussing on this podcast. It's clear that there are challenges, but at the same time, it means that there are a lot of opportunities. There are opportunities to trailblaze your own path. There are opportunities to give back eventually to others who were in your shoes once you kind of learn how things work and you realize that struggle and you can relate to it. And perhaps most importantly, it means that you have something to be proud of, because there's absolutely no room for complacency when you are a first gen student and you're navigating campus resources yourself, or hopefully with the help of mentors that you can find. Um, but it's something, again, to be very proud of, that you're able to go above and beyond and achieve.
A little more is, it's also being like a role model in a way, except you're not a role model to people who are younger than you, they're looking up to you, but people who are older than you looking up to you. So it really creates like confidence in a way, and like you said, like pride, and being prideful of who you are, and just like exposing that out to the world with your like being open-minded and things.
I definitely think that since I started recognizing that I was a first gen student, I'm way more proud about it, because I'm just in general, I'm like, I'm a first gen student. This is a huge part of my identity now. I understand what it means and I know how to connect with people. And I've pointed out that like one of the things I do when I'm connecting with students on a mentorship basis, on a just in general for orientation, is find something you've got in common. And first gen is such a common thing. I mean, we have what, 43% of our um, campus coming in is usually about first gen, like somewhere around there. Like it's a huge chunk of campus that's first gen, and it's something to be proud of.
For sure. Now let's see if we can get that entire 43% in a virtual room together and host a spectacular event. All of them, all 43%.
All right. And how can students get involved with the First Gen Student Org?
Oh, this is the easiest question you've asked all day because it's not difficult to get involved at all. First of all, in like a slide or two, you're going to show an email address that any student can shoot an email to and say, hey, I'm interested in this, either joining or just learning more about what we do or just asking questions about anything on campus, even if it's not related to First Gen. Any listener can feel free to reach out to us and contact us that way. Also, certainly, students can be on the lookout. If you're First Gen, you should be receiving First Gen newsletters when we send them. And there's always a little link at the bottom to fill out a form if you're interested in learning more. So those are definitely ways, really just reach out to any of us via email or via the newsletters that we send and say, hey, I'm interested. And that's all it takes. And then we start informing you of when our meetings are and when our events are and how you can help out.
And also, I didn't think Brendan would miss this, but we also have a WhatsApp group chat that you can definitely get added to, and it's pretty fun. We don't just talk about First Gen. We have memes and other conversations that will lighten your day. So feel free to ask for the code and then just click it and get added.
Sorry for slacking, Reem. Thank you for picking that up. I clearly missed a very crucial part of our communication. Um, if you're interested in figuring out what the baby meme is about, definitely join that group chat and you'll learn all about the baby.
All right. And so, aside from joining the WhatsApp group chat, what would be your advice for incoming First Gen UM-Dearborn students?
Well, definitely join the group chat. Yeah, you're right about that. Absolutely. But there are, even if, you don't necessarily get super involved with First Gen, which you should, there are still lots of things to get involved with on campus. Like, for example, if you're new to campus, Duck Mentoring is a great group that you can join, and you'll be assigned to a mentor. And I know like half of the university by now is probably mentored by Bridget because because she seems to be everywhere on campus, but it's okay. We still have her here too, so it's good. But that's definitely one thing you could join. Just be on the lookout for all sorts of orgs. There's literally an org for everything. And if there's not an org for something, you can create one. So whatever your interests are or whatever, you can find something and just join it, and don't make it a commuter campus. I guess I can't call it a commuter campus because a lot of people won't be commuting. Don't just log on and off for your classes. Try and communicate with people, create group chats with others, network, network, network. I'm a college business student, so of course I have to say network, and just get involved.
Yeah, and also be resilient and don't be scared to state your opinion on anything. Ask questions. There's always somebody who has a good answer, and explore, like, get out of your comfort zone, explore new things. Like Brandon said, we have so many organizations. Pick one and join, and just experience college because it's only a once in a lifetime experience.
I definitely think that some of the biggest pieces of advice we got from our student board when we were doing interviews was, ask for help. Just as a basis, like be able to ask for help and find someone that you can ask for help, because you don't always have to in high school. I know I breezed through it without any worry. I didn't develop study habits because I didn't need to. So now I sit here and I'm like, how do I open a book and read and study?
Right. And especially being remote, I feel like that makes it a little bit more difficult to just like reach out to someone and say, hey, I need help on something. Like, it's not weird at all to send someone an email. Even though I've seen people many, many, many times send their entire class an email saying, hey, does anyone know how to do XYZ, or can anyone help with this? And a lot of times that ends up creating study groups naturally, and honestly, like, great friends that you end up having many, many classes with during your time at U of M-Dearborn. So it's really important to just be willing to take that step and to go, hey, do you know how to do this? Or I need help with this, or whatever. It's important.
And the part about the First Gen Student org is that you've got a lot of students that are maybe going through the same thing as you. So maybe you reach out together to someone to ask for help, or you come to the student board and go, hey, I don't know who to ask. I need help with this, or something along those lines. Like, we're trying to be a resource, and so use it.
Nice shameless plug, marketing coordinator. I love it.
All right, and so this is the contact information for First Gen. We've got our Instagram handle, which is at UM-Dearborn First Gen, and then our email, which is firstgensuccess@umich.edu. On top of these, we do use WhatsApp, the group chat, to connect with everyone, including non-First Gen students, actually. They really enjoy the environment that's in that group chat. We just recently helped someone on there with designing a flyer, like which flyer looked best for their business. So it was a lot of fun to go through that. But yeah, any questions, anything like that, you can send to there, to the email, or even in a DM on Instagram. I know I'm on Instagram more than I check my email, so don't be afraid.
And I like that you mentioned too, Bridget, that non-first gen students are totally welcome to, be active with us and support us. It's not like, we are obviously an exclusive, awesome club, but we're not so exclusive that we don't let everyone in, because anyone can join. We're happy to have everyone on board who's willing to help us out and support what we're doing. Just, network and communicate with each other.
And sometimes the struggles that we face as first gen students aren't necessarily exclusive to just being a first gen student, but it is important to like discuss these struggles. And we're an open community to allow you to come in and say, hey, I'm struggling. So that is the end of our podcast. I'd like to thank both Brandon and Reem for being here and talking so thoroughly about first gen. If you're ready to keep mastering Maize and Blue, then visit umdearborn.edu/mastering Maize and Blue for previous and future episodes. You can also check out the U of M Dearborn YouTube page. And I hope to see you in later Mastering Maize and Blues.